Bakugo's POV. I made my way. I made my way to Lynn's house to tell them about the letter. Once I was there, her mother was outside planting her favorite flowers in the front garden. When she noticed me, she got up and walked over to me. "Is there something you need, Katsuki?" she asked. "I want to tell you something about your daughter. Can I come in so Mr. Lynn can read it too?" I said. Then she led me into the house. Once I was in, on the, oh my gosh, on the coffee table was paper that showed where they thought you were by the house that you were last seen, and even getting pictures on Deku and where he went, bought, and more. It was very impressive for the police. Did not even have this much. Oh, Katsuki, I didn't see you there. Mr. Lynn spoke out, trying to pick up his paper. God, I'm tired. Oh, sorry, guys. Mr. Lynn spoke out, trying to pick up his paper. "Mr. Lynn, you don't need to put that up. I think I might have something you want to read," I spoke out. With him walking next to his wife, I gave the paper from them, and they started to cry a bit. "Oh, my baby," your mother sobbed. "Mr. and Mrs. Lynn, there is more. Under a black light, it has more to it." "Here," I said, gosh, I'm sorry for yawning so much. I said, putting the black light I brought with me. "Oh, at least my baby's okay," your mother said. "Hun, but she's falling for someone who tortured her and could possibly have raped her," your father said, getting a little mad at what he read. "Hun, please." Oh gosh. I'm sorry. I hate yawning in these. "At least we know Yin is safe and little Nimizumi," your mother said, trying to calm your father down. He took the paper with him and walked out of the room. "I'm sorry about him, Katsuki," she said, wiping a tear away, and then continuing. "It's been rough for us." I'm so sorry, guys. "I'm so very sorry for him," she said, trying not to cry even more. "Mr. Lynn, you're fine. Mrs. Lynn, sorry. You're fine, but I must ask if I can stay here for a bit," I said. Why? "Sorry if I offended, but I need to know," she said, putting her hand on her chest. "Yin is smart, truly, and I think since she was here last, she has something meaning in her room," I spoke out, and your mother agreed. "But I'll be sleeping on the couch." Understandable, truly. I looked through your room. I noticed nothing much, but things like clothes. Gosh, I'm so sorry. Your mom was still the same. Cleaned, of course, but still you. Think of the Think of the time I was with you. That one time when you, him, and Deku was with you and some of his old friends. Flashback. Following Bakugo deeper into the woods, the kids came to a river. It wasn't deep, but they knew their mothers would be quite angry at them if they got dirty or wet. The kids found a knocked over tree and decided to cross with with that tree. As the little Bakugo started to walk, gosh, I'm so sorry. The others followed, and him falling to the bottom, not hurt, but went to ensure the others he was fine. But Deku and Yin were gone. Where's Yin and Deku? The young Bakugo had said. They ran off, one of the kids said. I think they went to the nearby flower field, the other said. Getting up, Bakugo ran to the near flower field to see you and Deku. Deku was watching you weave a flower crown just for him. There you go, Izu, you giggled out, placing it on top of his head. The other kids ran to get one as well. God, I hate yawning. I'm so sorry. He followed and sat next to you. He still remembered your giggles when he placed his head on your shoulder. Once everyone had one that night had fallen, and that had meant it was time for the little kids to go back home, where the safety of their houses could bring. Bakugo, Yin, and Izu walked home together for the sleepover they were having that night. End of the cute little moment. Now, continuing to look through your room, he noticed something he knew had remembered talking about when you were kids, a keychain in the shape of an angel. It was given to you by your grandmother, who was still alive, thankfully. Looking at it, there was a compartment in a little white dress it had. Opening up, it was a little piece of paper inside. You, him, and Deku on it. He remembers this picture as your favorite before losing it. On the back was a coordinates of the flower field once you guys played in, and he knew he wouldn't go back and hopefully see those beautiful flowers he once saw. Your POV. I laid on the couch with Izu lay by me and Nuzumi on my chest. They slept there in peace with one thing I wanted. As they slept, I was watching TV. It was the Nature Channel, which Nuzumi loved, for she got to see animals she would possibly never see. Izu tomorrow was going to ask if me and Numizumi could go out, just so we could have some sunlight and so Numizumi could play. But we had to be supervised, for I could do the same thing I did last time, which I wasn't planning on doing. Your POV. There I was, playing with Numizumi outside for the first time in months. Oh shoot, I forgot to say this is a time skip, sorry. She crawled and played with the flowers by picking them up and throwing them in the air. You should make 3 flower crowns for us, Izzy said. He had been sitting right next to me. I haven't done it in so long I might have forgotten how to do it, I giggled out. She would be cute. And one. And you'll be cuter, he said, kissing my cheek. And I know he noticed the blush that my face had been enveloped all over my face. Aw, don't get all blushy with me, he said, picking a flower and putting it in my hair. This felt phenomenal. I had to remember he kidnapped me, and well, I wouldn't call it raping if I liked it, but still. I hope Numizumi can grow up without people wanting to know what happened to me. I saw Numizumi crawl back with flowers in her hands. There were so many colors in a bunch. What do you want me to do, Numizumi? I asked, placing her on my lap. Mama, she called out, putting the flowers on my chest. Do you want Mama to make you a pretty princess? Izu asked Numizumi. Mama, she nodded. Okay, my little girl, let me try. Don't be mean to Mama if I mess up, I said as she curled down to watch my work. As I weaved the stems of the flowers to make a small flower crown for the little girl, she watched in awe as the dozens of flowers made a flower crown to fit her head. Look, Nimizumi, you're pretty like Mama, Izzy teased the little girl he called his own. Daddy meanie, she called out, hitting Izu on the knee. Ow, you're the meanie, he fought back as Nimizumi puffed out her cheeks. Aw, it looks like I have two babies, I teased the two. No, only baby, Nimizumi called out, pointing to herself. God, I'm glad I taught her some words. That's when I saw her starting to cry, little tears running down her cheeks. Oh, Nimizumi, I said, putting her in my lap. You're my baby, and no one can take that place, I said, kissing her forehead. More than Daddy? She asked. You know I can't pick, I said, patting her head. Then I whispered into her ear, Don't tell Daddy, but I love you more, I said as she giggled. Gasp! Yin! I thought you loved me more, Izuku pouted. I have two babies, I said as we sat there in the sunlight. Bakuyo's POV. Walking to the old neighborhood I lived in when I was a kid, and where we played for hours and hours a day, making my way over to the fence and landing on my feet like I normally do. Walking into the woods, deeper and deeper, the birds' songs got more and more deeper I got. And then, remembering what happened many years ago, I do really miss her, truly. Well, everyone did. I felt my feet hit something hard. A rock? It was well, I don't really know. It was a bag. Looking at it, it looked normal. Opening it looked OMG. It was filled with someone's body. Falling back on my ass. How dirty. Now dirty, probably. It was disgusting. Seeing the blood and guts all in one tiny bag. How the fuck? Starting to stand up, I ran to the river and fell in so long ago. Running and running, I remember the flower field, stopping in my tracks and then running to the field, seeing the flowers and remembering Yin and the flower crown she made that day. Her giggles, her telling us to wait as she worked her magic, then seeing in the distance was a house. Maybe Yin was there, right? Walking to the house that was a football field away, or hell, maybe two. Walking and walking more, I was getting closer and thought of the different things going through my head. Noticing my hands were shaking as I walked more and more to the house, seeing that some of the flowers were picked, and moving around, walking to the door. I thought of knocking. What if it was Yin? Maybe, or some random person? Of hell, no one could live here, and it's just a ghost house, right? Finally knocking on the door, I heard movement behind the door, and then someone walking to the door. I heard the handle move and stop, and taking some time, and it opened a bit, and it was Yin. I yelled out as she saw me. She started to cry, and then ran to hug me. Oh, Katsuki, you're not a dumbass, she said, yelling. What the fuck do you mean by that? I yelled back. I told Izu I liked this house, by the flower field, when we were younger. I told him when we were here. She cried out. My shirt had to be wet by now from her tears. Wait, you have to see Nimizumi, she said, then stopped. No, you have to leave now, she yelled out. Izu will be back at any time now, Katsuki. You have to leave, she yelled out even more. Well, well, well. Look like the trap have worked, Deku giggled out from behind me.